And the European Council has terminated the partial suspension of a cooperation agreement with Syria, thereby restoring fuller trade ties with the country as it seeks to emerge from nearly 14 years of war. The Council said on Monday the move marked an important step towards strengthening relations between the European Union and Syria. And Discord on Monday unveiled Nitro Rewards, which gives Nitro subscribers access to offers from other gaming and lifestyle brands for no additional cost. Currently, Nitro offers upgrades to Discord itself and, like more profile customization options, HD streaming, and the ability to upload files of up to 500 megabytes. The subscription is optional, as you can easily use the platform without paying, which is an intentional design choice on Discord's part. But that also means user acquisition can be tricky. And the apparently insatiable demand for AI compute has data center entrepreneurs looking to the stars. There's a key problem. There aren't enough rockets to put data centers in orbit around the Earth, and they're too expensive. And most of the players are hoping that SpaceX's Starship, expected to make its 12th test flight as soon as this weekend, will solve the problem. But once the vehicle is operational, it may be years before it is commercially available, and given SpaceX's internal satellite business. The same is true for Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket, which failed to deliver a satellite during its third launch in April. And a new study led by Duke Health found that tiny RNA molecules in the blood may help predict short-term survival in older adults. The research, conducted in collaboration with the University of Minnesota and published in Aging Cell, focused on small RNA molecules known as piRNAs. And traffic police in Lahore have intensified a crackdown against traffic violations on model roads under an ongoing enforcement campaign, taking action against thousands of motorists and motorcyclists over the past 2 weeks. And according to Lahore Traffic Police, action was taken against 33,456 vehicles and motorcycle riders during the campaign. Officials said 14,354 motorcycles were impounded at different police stations for dangerous driving, and while 9,839 motorists and riders faced action for lane line violations. And a new leak tied to Capcom has surfaced online, mentioning several rumored projects related to Resident Evil and Devil May Cry franchises. The information appeared after well-known Capcom leaker Dusk Golem confirmed claims from an anonymous insider that Ada Wong will appear in downloadable content for Resident Evil Requiem.
That Forza Horizon 6 has reportedly leaked online nearly a week before its scheduled release. According to reports, the full version of the upcoming racing game from Playground Games appeared on file-sharing sites over the weekend and was later cracked by pirates.
And Russian pharmaceutical company Zavod Medsyntez and its Pakistani partner Genetics Pharmaceuticals Private Limited plan to invest nearly $80 million in Pakistan's pharmaceutical sector to launch local insulin production, sources said on Monday. The investment will be carried out in 2 phases, including the establishment of an aseptic filling plant and a full-scale insulin manufacturing facility. And Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Monday extended the countrywide austerity drive till June 13. The Middle East war, which began with US-Israeli attacks on Iran on February 28, has given rise to a global oil crisis. In order to deal with the situation, the government had announced unprecedented austerity measures on March 9.
That Russian President Vladimir Putin has suggested that former German Chancellor Gerhard Schröder could coordinate talks with the European Union to secure a peace deal in Ukraine, a proposal met with skepticism by EU officials. European Council President Antonio Costa said recently he believed there was potential for the EU to negotiate with Russia and to discuss the future of Europe's security architecture. That Venmo is rolling out a significant redesign over the coming months that aims to make the app more useful, social, and easier to navigate. This is the peer-to-peer payments app's biggest refresh since 2021. The timing is notable. PayPal, which owns Venmo, that is restructuring to spin Venmo off as a standalone business unit, a move widely seen as laying the groundwork for a potential sale. Stripe has reportedly expressed interest in buying PayPal outright. In that context, that a splashy redesign looks less like a routine update and more like a window dressing job ahead of a transaction.
And a new study from Rutgers Health examined how the human brain combines fast and slow forms of information processing through its white matter communication networks. The research, published in Nature Communications, focused on how the brain manages information streams that operate across different timescales. Researchers said this coordination plays an important role in cognition, behavior, and the ability to respond to changing environments.
That the Higher Education Commission, HEC, has decided to re-examine the academic credentials of 36,931 students enrolled at unauthorized campuses through an independent verification process. The decision was taken during the 46th meeting of the HEC, chaired by Chairman Dr. Niaz Ahmad Akhtar. That Pakistan authorities have urged citizens to protect their personal information amid rising concerns over cybercrime and SIM misuse. In a public advisory, Sindh police warned people not to share their SIM cards, fingerprints, scenic details or other sensitive information with unnecessary individuals. That the next version of ChatGPT may just be called Goblin. This is because in a post on X, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman wrote, "What if we name the next model Goblin? Almost worth it to make you all happy."
And a painting stolen from a Jewish art collector by the Nazis during World War II has been found in the home of descendants of a notorious Dutch SS collaborator. An art detective has said, portrait of a young girl by Dutch artist Toon Kelder is believed to have hung for decades in the home of Hendrik Seffert's family, Arthur Brand said. And Iran's foreign ministry spokesman has accused the United States of presenting unreasonable and one-sided demands in negotiations aimed at ending the war. As the two sides maintain a fragile ceasefire, Iran submitted a response to a US proposal to end the 2-month war via Pakistan on Sunday, Iranian state media reported, with US President Donald Trump branding Iran's terms as totally unacceptable. And the United States-Israel war on Iran is not the result of a sudden escalation, but the culmination of a long-term Israeli agenda to violently reshape the Middle East. And former Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Hamad bin Jassim Al Thani tells Al Jazeera in a wide-ranging, candid interview on Al Jazeera's Al Mukabala program. And the veteran diplomat offered a stark assessment of the region's rapidly shifting geopolitical landscape. He warned that the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz is the most perilous consequence of the recent war and cautioned against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ambitions for a greater Israel and called for the urgent establishment of a unified Gulf Defense Pact. And Asia's push into physical AI is being fueled by the same manufacturing prowess that made the region a global industrial powerhouse. Across South Korea, Japan, China, and Taiwan, manufacturing remains a central pillar of economic growth. And unlike economies more heavily weighted towards services or software, these countries have long relied on large-scale production, export-driven industries, and highly optimized supply chains. And that structural foundation is now shaping how artificial intelligence is adopted and where investment flows, which makes it particularly significant that Config and a Seoul and San Jose-based startup building the data layer for robotic foundation models, RFMs, has secured backing from the venture arms of South Korea's biggest manufacturers.
That Rawalpindi is set to receive several new road infrastructure projects as authorities move ahead with plans to expand the city's signal-free corridor network and ease growing traffic congestion. According to officials, 3 new underpasses will be constructed on Peshawar Road at Kasim Market Chowk, Kabristan Chowk and Charing Cross Chowk.
And Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Health Department has announced more than 830 vaccinator jobs across various districts of the province as part of efforts to strengthen immunization services. The Director of Health Services has issued a notification that the recruitment process for expanded program on immunization (EPI) vaccinators has officially begun. And a new study suggests people may physically react to infrasound even when they cannot consciously hear it. Researchers found that exposure to low-frequency sound was linked to increased irritability and higher cortisol levels, and which may help explain why some environments feel unsettling or haunted for no apparent reason. Infrasound refers to sound below 20 Hz, a frequency range that humans usually cannot hear. It can come from natural sources such as storms, and as well as human-made sources, including traffic, industrial machinery, and ventilation systems.
That Federal Minister for Finance and Revenue Senator Mohammad Aurangzeb on Monday reaffirmed the government's commitment to modernizing Pakistan's tax system through technology-driven reforms during a meeting with a delegation from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, ICAP. The finance minister noted that AI-based production monitoring and technology-driven oversight mechanisms introduced across multiple sectors are helping improve documentation, strengthen compliance, and reduce revenue leakages. More than 30 international flights scheduled for Gulf countries were cancelled from major airports across Pakistan on Monday, while bad weather also disrupted several domestic flight operations. According to reports, 8 flights bound for Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah and Bahrain were cancelled from Allama Iqbal International Airport. Indian shares fell on Monday, and the rupee declined after Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged a spate of measures, including fuel conservation, fewer imports and gold purchases, as surging energy prices pressure foreign exchange reserves. India, the world's third biggest oil importer and consumer, late last month said there was no proposal to raise pump prices for diesel and gasoline, leaving it among the countries yet to raise prices despite the global surge.
And in the opening paragraph of The Kite Runner, Afghan-American author Khaled Hosseini's narrator reflects on the past as an untamed beast that claws its way out at the most unexpected moments. With this familiar yet prosaic observation, and the narrator invokes one of literature's most enduring tropes, fiction writers often peel back the layers of their characters' histories to make them more three-dimensional, realistic, and intriguing. And this technique opens a doorway into their hidden emotional lives and even allows them an opportunity to identify and address their traumas. And the Foreign Office FO said on Monday that the Afghan Chargé d'Affaires was handed a strong démarche over the suicide attack in Banu, which claimed the lives of 15 police personnel. In a statement, the FO said, and the Afghan Chargé d'Affaires was summoned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today to deliver a strong démarche regarding the cowardly vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, ID, attack carried out by terrorists of Fitna al-Khawarij on the Fateh Kel police post in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Banu district on May 9.
The Philippine House of Representatives has voted to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte for a second time, threatening her plan to run for president in 2028. Monday's vote moves the impeachment process to the Senate for trial, where, if convicted, the daughter of former President Rodrigo Duterte will be disqualified from holding public office.
And Iranian human rights campaigner Narges Mohammadi has been transferred from jail to a Tehran hospital amid concern over her deteriorating health. Iranian authorities granted Mohammadi a sentence suspension on heavy bail, a foundation run by her family said on Sunday. And a French woman and an American man have tested positive for hantavirus infections as countries around the world repatriate passengers from a cruise ship hit by a deadly outbreak. French Health Minister Stephanie Rist said on Monday that a French passenger who was on the MV Hondius cruise ship tested positive for the virus and her condition was deteriorating, the Reuters news agency reported.